Was that ill-handled?
No.
Right, yeah.
What is up, chocolatiers? So, you already know what the score is. You already know what we talking about. Night of the Seven Kingdoms, season 1. I don't know if, based on the way that the show ends, I don't know if they're gonna call season 2 something different, like the way they're kind of alluding or whatever. Oh my god, what peak television! So Game of Thrones, I've got a little funny history about that. My first episode as a child, okay, was the Red Wedding. I remember I was like, what is this? And I would cut on it, or not cut on an episode, but I guess like flick through the channels or whatever, HBO passed by. Game of Thrones, I'll see that, and I was like, okay, I don't care. And I'm a child. At that time I was watching The Flash on CW, right? That's as crazy as it got for me, right? And so I remember one day I was like, let's just go watch Game of Thrones. At that time I didn't care about watching stuff in order. Random episode came on, and I was like, oh, okay, what's this about? I've never been so scarred in my life. I said, okay, we're not watching that. And so many years ago, before, I guess what has been 4 years now, before a House of Dragon came on, I went back and watched Game of Thrones. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was great. Final seasons, we'll leave that there. But Game of Thrones, opening to middle, pretty great. And I really like House of Dragon for what it is. I got a lot of heat because I didn't love the last season like I did the first season, which is funny because those same people they're throwing out a heat out. They're now saying that. After watching this, they're like, oh yeah, that last season. They're now saying that. Okay, and so this show is doing exactly what you need to do for a Game of Thrones show. Stick to the source material. It's easy. It's that simple, right? Like, isn't that funny that like if you read a book and you're making a book adaptation, you just go, oh, let's just do that. Because the book worked. I don't know why people want to, I don't know why they don't do that. Isn't that crazy they don't? And so in this story that's taking place, I think it's a century before Game of Thrones. And so we're basically getting Dunk and Egg. And Dunk is this hedge knight. If you've watched Game of Thrones, you've heard like how he had like 4 pages and he's like this legendary knight and all this other cool stuff. Kind of leading us up to some big events that are going to happen. So that I kind of know what happens. I haven't read the book it's based on, but I actually am planning on reading it, especially by considering now TV standards that we'll probably have to wait 2 years for season 2. But yes, this is awesome. The young boy that plays Egg is so amazing as an actor. He has like even like that. The show does so many cool things. For example, where there's a scene where he's training one of the horses because they're about to get to a joust. Okay, a few episodes later, we get to that joust and something happens, and I was like, I remember what you're talking. I saw that. And I'm loving this. You're just getting Adventures of Dunk and Egg. It's season 1's really kind of leading up to that point. I would actually say my only negative about this show is the length of the episodes. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? Like 30 minutes? I know what they're doing. They're milking it. Let's just be honest. I don't care how good it is. It's going to be. I can't sugarcoat it for you. Be honest. They're milking it because, like, if you've seen this book, you're like, oh yeah, like 2 seasons, probably, maybe 3. I don't know where we're at in the book, but just based on the length of these episodes, I'm going to assume they're going to try to at least get 4-ish seasons out of this. And the director joked around that they might hit 5. And I was like, okay, that's crazy for the book length. But these episodes, I'm telling you, if they were an hour, and also 6 episodes, what I learned last week when I saw that banger of an episode, they dropped episode 5. I said, we cooking now, we cook. It ended. I said, what are you talking about? I need more. It's such a good show, right? And so now let's get into the main plot. I'm done gushing over it. Let's get over to the main plot. So like I said, this follows Dunk and Egg. Dunk is a hedge knight. You get some flashbacks of his later on in the show, but he's basically trained by this other knight, whatever, blah, blah. And you kind of learn earlier on in the show that he was never really knighted, and he's kind of lying about this shit. And so he ends up going to this tournament. He's followed by this young boy Egg who wants to be his squire. And there is something going on with Egg. It's very clear what's going on, but just in case you haven't watched, I'm not going to spoil what's going on. But there's something going on with him. It's a really cool twist they do, and it's basically leading up to this big tournament and so that going on, whatever, because he wants to compete. And you got some other stuff going on, so that kind of like diverges that path and leads to some other things going on in the last few episodes. But man, oh man, is this awesome. When we get some fight scenes in this show, it's so brutal. It's so visceral. They like actually put the camera like in like the visor, and it's so cinematic. It's so awesome. You got so many cool, like, even like that show was getting hate. Telling you, bro, haters gonna hate. They wrong. They are wrong. They was trying to hate on the first couple episodes. Like, it's too comedic. It's too goofy. This is definitely more lighthearted. It's definitely not really comedic. Like, there's some funny stuff for sure. But it gets kind of dark, especially around episode 5, for example. It gets really, really dark. There's some really, really dark things. But man, oh man. Like, this show is so good. Like I said, the action set pieces are really good. You don't have to worry about all this crap. Like, oh man, some dragons or some this and that. Like, you just have these beautiful vista shots. There's like one of my favorite shots is in actually the final episode, where you got this beautiful vista shot. You get all these beautiful greens that you see across the valley, so that looks really good. If you got like an OLED TV in particular, it looks awesome. HBO, they always cook. I don't think I've watched an HBO show in years where I'd be like, man, that was kind of dog shit. They put out heat. They proceed to put out heat. So does Apple TV. And those are like my two networks I go to. Like, if I'm like, hey, I want to watch something good, it's a high bar that's probably gonna be good, right? And so, man, oh man, definitely recommend if you haven't seen this. I'm assuming most people are watching this did watch the show. So you're like me. You want that ego trip, don't you? You want your validation. I'm fucking validating for you. 10 out of 10, season 1, baby. 10 out of 10. I thought about giving it a 9.5 because of 30-minute episodes. No, fuck all that. I don't care. Okay, I do care, but I don't. It's a 10 out of 10, dude. Like, first episode, I was one of those ones that love the first episode. I always loved the comedic stuff. I was loving this, that, whatever, how they were setting it up. I was a little upset, like I said, episode length. They felt very short, especially episode 1 and 2. But once you get into this story, once you get Dunk's flashbacks and some other stuff like that, once you get the twist reveals with Egg and stuff like that with his uncle and like his father and blah, blah. Oh, God, it's awesome. It's good TV. And it's getting a recommendation from me. Mr. Chocolate Silver Approval, the first one of the year, by the way. And I've seen amazing films. TV show-wise, first Silver Approval, definitely recommend. If you haven't watched this show, definitely watch it. And if you have, comment down below, let me know your favorite episode and your favorite scene from this season. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Service. Perhaps even House Targaryen.
Targaryens